Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 93. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Happy Valentine's Day, brother.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. I was just about to say that. I was thinking about that. I was going to do a background for it, but decided not to. But I've been cold, West. It's funny because I was thinking, like last night I opened my window in my bathroom and I thought it was going to get cold because below zero and it wasn't jack crap. And then I went to go get coffee and breakfast this morning and I was like, holy crap! With this wind, this is really, 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 really cold. And yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it's the wind that always gets you. But the good thing about it is you crack your window, you get cold, you put the headset on,
Mm.
you're comfortable again.
Yeah, that's why I was doing it. I was doing some Gauntlet last night, and it got pretty hot, man. Which reminds me, I need to add a game to the list because I knocked Gauntlet off last night. Shot a shot across the bow for Wes. But I was just gonna go ahead and I guess is it okay to do it here? Or I would have done it last night, but I figured we were so
We,
close to the
we
show.
will, just for you, create a new rule so that you could do it on either show instead of just virtual show.
Okay. Yeah, because I figure, if you do it before the show or, you might want to get another game on the list. It wouldn't matter because I'm going to start it today. I was going to do it last night, but it was too hot, Wes, and I realized I had a show to do in the morning. But I'm going to do the Star Wars, what is it, a Fallen Jedi Order? Or I don't know, I always get the name mixed up in Vorpex. And so I'm going to stream it an hour or two after the show, probably. So.
Awesome. Well, give me just a half a second here. For those of you who don't know what Roots is talking about, Roots and I are engaging in what we call the Beat It Challenge.
Mhm.
And the Beat It Challenge is this whole convoluted contest between he and I. And basically, it just revolves around uh, finishing games. It's a contest based around finishing VR games, and it's taking place all year long. And what Roots is trying to say here is that he has scored the first points
Mhm.
by knocking off Gauntlet with the help of our friends in Discord. So
Yeah.
congratulations there, and we'll just go on down here
Tell you what,
and
man, that last boss was pretty damn hard. We had to up our game, up all of our skills. Well, they upped all their weapons and stuff. Mine was already set. It's funny because got this guide they linked in the Discord, and they were asking me last night, Wes, if I had checked out the guide, and I said, please, man, I write the guide, so I didn't look at what I needed to do, but from what Spry Guy said, what I had picked was what you want to do anyway. And that's just all that World of Warcraft experience where you just look at the skills and logic tells you what would probably be the best for your character. And I guess I was right. So we beat that boss. Morak is no more. So
that was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order that you would like to add to your list.
yeah, dude. And I'll tell you what, and I'm going to talk more in detail on a future episode about this on the Wednesday show, or I guess we call it the virtual show. But man, Vorpex, that game was this was amazing. The immersive screen, it was just really, really good, and I can't wait to get back in there and check it out in a couple hours on Twitch.
Anyway, if you would like to watch Roots play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in VR via Vorpex, you can do so by scrolling down to the description below, and there you will find a link to his Twitch channel. And I think he said pretty soon after the show today, he's going to go in there and put a couple hours in. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, exciting.
Anyway, Roots, I'm excited, dude. A lot of great news this week. We got a banger of a show, don't we?
Yeah, you know what's funny, Wes? When I can take easily look at the notes and find four good pictures of games that I know that people are going to be interested in, I'm like, yes, this is a. Because sometimes you put in and it's like the same games, bro, and they're amazing games, but it's the same games and they're rehashed with pictures and all of these games that we're going to talk about were exciting to me. Even the old news of the old games was exciting. So
Yeah, man. Paradise Decay joined in the chat. Everyone, wish Paradise Decay a happy belated 19th birthday. He just turned 19.
wow,
In
happy
case you guys missed
birthday!
it.
Damn, the UK is hard on people at 19, bro. But I'll tell you what, he says it works in Helix Vision, which Mash Daddy did as well, and he's right. So if you have Helix Vision, the reason why I did this, Wes, is I noticed in the Steam, and I didn't know this when I was looking at the specials, that you could do the EA 99 cent for the first month, $4.99 for all these games through Steam. Like, you don't even have to do anything. It even lets you download Origin, which I guess I already had an account, so it just kind of opened it up. But it was easy, and now I have access to like 20 games. Need for Speed is one of them. So there's a lot of games on there that I'm looking at that I might try in Vorpex. The Jedi game was just the first one I tried, and it just looked so amazing that I was like, I got to play through this, man. And I played through like the first hour, and then I'm going to have to restart it again because, what's the point of not getting credit for it? So,
Right. Yeah. If you're going to play it right, you might as well, even if it's just like, which you would never do this, but even if it were just like plain gameplay with no commentary, it'd still be worth doing to get those points, right?
yeah, absolutely. And, and that's why I was like, I don't even know if I'll finish this game. I think I will, but, at least I'll have the option. And like I was telling my stream last night, it's about getting like 4 or 5 or 6 different games going, and then I can just pop between each one because you don't always want to play the same game. And if I'm being honest, streaming Pop One is fun, but it's not. I'm starting to get a little bored of it. So I'm not that I'm not going to do it. I just I'm looking to other things as well.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll get into Pop One as well as some other things. But multiplayer's fun for a while, but you can't beat that good story player experience, can you?
Yeah,
Story driven experience.
absolutely. Well, and it's not even. It's just like I like Pop One. It's just for streaming it. It's starting to get kind of samey, and there are a lot of kids, and even kids that I'm supposed to be friends with that are just really annoying. And so at some point I want to play it, but not as much. So.
Anyway, as I was saying before, lots of awesome news today, a banging show, but I'm excited, Roots. We've said it many times on this, on both of our shows over the complete history of our channel. We've talked about just how much PC needs its version of the aim controller. And whenever we bring this up, people will say, Gunstock, bro, Gunstock, ProTube, bro, MagTube. ProTube's awesome. Force Tube's even better, dude. Like I dream about having a Force Tube one day, but it's not an aim controller. It's not a dedicated controller for reasons that we've went over a million times. But the day is arriving soon, Roots, because what's it called, man? I put it in Striker VR. There's a company called Striker VR who's been making this kind of gun controller for VR for years, but they've been doing it for the location-based VR experiences. Well, that just hit the news this past week that this company just raised $4 million in funding to make a similar product for the consumer VR space. And Roots, they're saying that this thing is going to have more advanced haptics than any controller, period, including flat gaming, all of gaming. This is going to have the best haptics ever in any controller.
Wow. That sounds exciting. Paradise Decay says, you know who else likes a Force Tube?
My mom.
Yeah, she sure does. I was reading that news and I was like, oh my God, Wes, because I went to the website and was looking at the location-based guns and stuff, and people have been doing 3D modded kits and all this stuff, but you're telling me that they're like actually going to be legit putting out these guns for like you and me to play with? And let me ask you this as well. What is a price that you would pay for it? Like if it was $200, is that out the window? Or is that, if it's the most advanced gun, and you know how good the aim controller is, it could be game changing, right?
Well, that's the catch, Roots. And I kind of wanted to lead people in one direction and then sucker punch them in the other.
Oops.
So let's do that. What has been our main complaint? I mean, we've had a lot of complaints about the idea of going with a gun stock, but what's been our main complaint with them?
The gun
price, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. This awesome VR, PC VR, possibly Quest VR. People are talking about using it with Quest. This awesome gun controller with these advanced haptics, made for consumers. They're projecting could cost up to $500.
Ooh. Wow.
Dude, that's more than a VR headset. When are these people going to get this shit right? Oculus needs to fund this thing,
Mm.
and they need to get a gun in people's hands.
Oh, do you think Oculus might take a hint and they might make their own version of something? Maybe 250? You know, maybe this one comes out so expensive that the other one comes out half price, and you're like, "Oh,
It's
that's a
got to
good
be
deal."
$100, dude. It's got to be $100, 125, no more than that. If it's more than that, you're talking about buying another Quest. I mean, you know what I mean? Quest is just 300. You know, aim controllers are brand new 80. You can get them used for 60. We need something along that lines, and I would say $125 should be the limit, because if you're going to pay more than that, now you're starting to look at high end, you know, gun stocks. Anyway.
Technoglitch says 199. He's all over it. I don't know. It depends on how good it is. I mean, I obviously would like a 199. I mean, it's the equivalent of somebody telling you, "Hey, Wes, you know, should check out a wheel. There's $500 versions, you know, but here's a $200 one." And you're like, "Well, shit, man, I got to have the 200." I don't know. I agree. I would rather pay less, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I hope so.
Scion says that we need to buy Wes a force tube so he can say it's superior to the game controller PC Master Race. I'm sure it probably is, dude. The haptics in that thing are just nuts. I mean, it has actual recoil. I mean, with an accessory like that, Roots, Scion could play a game that doesn't have recoil in the game and still get recoil.
Well, I'll tell you what. First off, let's not leave Roots out of there. We need to buy Wes and Roots one of these, and we're always open to it. You want to buy us one? Go for it. You know, but you know, I know I would never begrudgingly take one. Like if the company was giving us something, but buying it out of pocket's a little bit different. Then you start thinking about cost, right?
Wife says, you know, you'd pay $200. Well, to be honest, if it were as advanced as they're saying it is, and it really has that kind of next level haptics, I probably would consider going up to 200 with it. But no more than that. I think that's kind of high in itself. But if it really has that kind of advanced haptic feedback, sure, why not?
But exciting though. At least somebody's doing it, right? And is it going to be for every headset, or what's it going to be for? Did they say?
They haven't specified. They've just said that they're looking at bringing their product into the consumer market, and that's basically the extent of what they said. People are speculating that it's going to be for Quest, obviously because that's where the money's at, right? But this sounds more like a PCVR peripheral to me, because if you're looking at people that are going to be buying $500 accessories, I mean that's the PCVR crowd and them only, you know.
Well, what if you could utilize the Wi-Fi 6, or I don't know how all that works, but it's got to be a way to wirelessly use it, right? And you could still use it on the PC as well.
Oh yeah, it's wireless. It's probably Bluetooth like the rest of them.
Yeah. So maybe if it's good for everybody, you know.
Absolutely. Hopefully. Well, we'll see. It's going to be a good couple of years, Roots. We keep getting these news stories about new tech, and it's moving very, very quickly. I'd venture to say that we're going to be shocked. You know, when you look at how much progress we've made in the last 3 years, I'd say that the progress we make in the next 3 years is going to dwarf that. It's just going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, starting to get used to getting headsets every year and a half, 2 years. So that's crazy.
Absolutely. But anyway, we have a banging show lined up for everyone today. Can't wait to dive into it. But before we do that, let's kick it off the way we always do, and that is by saying hello to our friends in chat. Again, Paradise Decay joining us in chat, as well as my wife, Gamer Chick, Ever Faithful. Hello, Tiffany. Void Citizen, Spry Guy, Andy McAvoy. Hello, sir. Trevor Mitchell says he agrees any more than 150 is too much for most people. Yeah, if you're really going to hit, if you want to have consumer success, you know, large scale success, then you got to get that price down. And that's really what Oculus has shown with the Oculus Quest 2, that they've shown not only with the big sales of their headsets, but the presence of the headset on Steam VR. I mean, it's already the second most used headset on Steam VR. What they're showing here is that it really was price. Price was the barrier all along, and they've proved that now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, accessibility, man. How many posts do you see of little kids playing with their new Christmas headset, and that would have never happened 5 years ago. Yeah, I mean, not for most people's families. So
oh no, no. I mean, what are you going to spend $1,000 on your kids so that they can get a jank rig? You know, a jank VR rig. That's not even a good one.
yeah,
Techno Glitch in the chat. What's up, buddy? Let's see here. Onakazi, hello, hello. Gamer Tag, hello, sir. Thanks for stopping by. And Mash Daddy, Traveling Man, the usual factory life. All the regulars are here, Roots. It's time to talk some VR.
yeah. Ray Del Toro says $500 for the B haptic vest. Chump change.
Dude, that is so awesome. I'm so happy for you. That's something. Haptics, I think, are really where the next big the big advancements in VR are going to be. It's going to be in haptics, and that vest is really it's really something else. GT had one of those. Did some videos on the B haptics vest here recently. The thing looks just amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, let's get into some game talk, Roots, and let's talk about a game that we actually talked about here recently. System Shock 2 VR. Night Dive Studios recently posted a tweet in January showing CEO Stephen Kick using a VR motion controller to play System Shock 2. This obviously led to a lot of speculation about the future of the System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition, the upcoming version of System Shock 2. Now we finally have confirmation that the game will be fully playable in VR. Quote, during the process of reverse engineering the missing libraries for System Shock 2, we had an opportunity to play around with the idea of creating a standalone VR version, says Kick in an interview with IGN. And so we brought on a VR expert to look about the COD and give us a brief idea of what kind of things we could do. Night Dive found that there was a solid enough foundation in System Shock 2 to begin fleshing out a full VR version. According to the article, the entire System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition game, including its multiplayer mode, will be fully playable in VR along with motion controls. Roots, and I'm sorry, by the way, I stepped on your trailer there. I didn't realize it until I got going. But, you know, we talked about this game a few weeks ago. This game is widely credited with being the main influence behind such legendary games as BioShock and Deus Ex. And, you know, it's kind of a legendary game in its own right. A lot of people are going to be excited to get a built from the ground up version of this for VR.
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't even know what this game was until today. But Andy McAvoy, we want to say welcome to the Virtual Strangers family. Just came in today, so says he already feels welcome. So
welcome for him.
Yeah,
this
looks creepy.
No, people talked about it when we discussed it a couple of weeks ago. People in the chat were talking about it. People really hold this game in high regard, and I mean, people were already excited about getting this thing remade in flat. To get it, not only a VR version of it, but to find out now that it's not just going to be some crappy tacked on VR support, but literally a completely different VR version with full motion controllers. I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, well, it's cool on a couple levels. And let me clarify. I mean, I never really looked at the game before until I saw this trailer, and I just like,
why don't we watch the trailer, Roots? I mean, that'd be a good reason. We skipped over it a moment ago. Why don't we all take a look at the trailer?
All right, cool.
What is it like to be afraid?
Can somebody let me out?
Rachel, kids, I'm sorry.
They want you understand? They want you as a host. Get away. Security system.
I am in control.
Okay, so I'd like to point out right off the top here that as cool as that looked, and it did look really cool, that was the original version of System Shock 2. This game's getting a full remake, the full remake treatment from the developer. So it's going to have modern graphics, modern assets. I'm sure it's going to be stunning.
Yeah, yeah, it just looks amazing, just the gameplay wise. And I didn't know too much about this series. And what I was going to say, one of the things that's amazing about this, is just the wording of what they said when they were talking about the game. Is that they found that they were able to take the assets and like we've said, these more advanced games in the last decade or so really don't take much to put into VR. They're starting to figure out how to do it in an easy way. So for me, this news is just not about System Shock 2. It's about enter your favorite game here. And it's just a matter of time. And they say if once it becomes even a little bit easier than this, then it'll be like, we're going to do it for everything because it's so easy. And it's another pool to dip into where we don't have to really put that many resources to. So I think it's exciting. Now, granted, obviously remastering it, they were already remastering it. So that takes time. That takes a lot of work. But the actual implementation into VR, that's just awesome. And from the ground up, as far as like with the motion controls, and people for whatever reason really freak out about that, Wes. And I like it, but it's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I can get into a good gamepad game as well. But what you were saying before, you actually took the words right out of my mouth because we've detailed in recent weeks kind of a renewed hope in the prospects for PCVR based on the fact that a lot of these new headsets also have PCVR functionality, and the fact that the price of the minimum spec PC is rapidly falling now and becoming an affordable thing. And at the same time, these kids that have had a computer in front of them since they were 2 years old, they're growing up now and they want gaming PCs. So we're getting to the point now where not only are we having a more educated user, but the technology is finally becoming more affordable. And I was trying to think, what other advantages could PCVR have going forward? We know obviously the big exclusives are going to go to standalone. They're going to go to console, but we've kind of said, well, going forward, PC is going to be the home of the independent developer. But it occurred to me when I was putting together these notes, not only in this game, but in other games that we're going to be talking about later, that PC is kind of going to be the spot for games like this. That mid-level studio that has a very popular, very polished flat game. I think we're going to see probably more of these flat games getting VR versions on PC than any other platform. And that's great because these games generally tend to be some of the highest quality games that we have in VR.
Yeah. And if Quest people want it, get a computer and a link. You're not cut off. You still can do it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, Quest, it's crazy, man, how that thing's selling. I've mentioned many times, every time I go to Walmart locally here, I go to check the stock on Quest, and it's been sold out since November. And I went in last week, and they finally got 3 of them in. 3 of the $400 version, the 256 version. I went back in yesterday, and 2 of those were gone. There was 1 left. And then I went back in this morning, and it's gone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Literally flying off the shelves. It makes you wonder. I mean, the Rec Room devs came out this last week and said that they estimate that the Oculus Quest 2 in its first quarter sold somewhere from 2 to 4 million headsets.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, that's a lot. I actually was looking at them at my local Best Buy, and they had both types in yesterday because at some point I've contacted Oculus because I think my cord's bad in my Rift S. I think I found out why somebody took it back. So I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to go the process and let Oculus pay for the replacement of the cord. I just got to let them get back to me. But I was thinking about picking up a Quest 2 in the interim, and and playing it for the couple weeks, and then deciding not to keep it. Or maybe I do.
Might
I
as
don't know.
well, or maybe
Yeah.
you keep it, right?
Yeah.
It would be good, just to get that kind of head to head thing going on again, so you can really, uh, really make the right choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely.
PD in the chat says that he found another game the other day that's getting VR support. So just what we were just talking about here, these flat games, all of a sudden getting VR support. Games like this, games like Green Hell. There's a lot of these games on PC, right? And there's going to be more of them. He said that it's called Breath Edge, and it's basically Subnautica in space,
Hmm.
and it looks like Prey or Lone Echo. Yeah, PD actually did a video on this earlier today. So if you guys are interested, be sure to go check that out.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
Absolutely. But anyway, this System Shock 2 development team also say that they had looked at Half-Life Alyx for inspiration and lessons. They say, quote, Half-Life Alyx has just become essential in creating that feeling that you're there. Things like being able to pick up items from a distance is something that was really important in Half-Life Alyx, and it's something you're going to be able to do in System Shock VR as well. The VR mode is still in its prototype stage, and it will not be available with the launch of System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition. But the Enhanced Edition will be a complete source port to the studio's KEX engine. All the character and weapons models are being remade with various fidelity improvements and will include the community's mods with permissions. No release date has been given as of yet.
Nice. So are you gonna play Vorpex, the flat version first? I'm just kidding. Good waste, right?
No, not on this. But I've been thinking about trying out Observer System Redux for a while. They remade Observer the same way that they're remaking System Shock, and I was about to pull the trigger on trying that one out in Vorpex or Helix Vision, and we started to hear these whispers that there might be VR support. But here we are all these months later, and really haven't heard anything else about it. So I don't know. My patience is starting to wear thin on that one. I want to play it, and I want to play it in VR.
Yeah, well, you can at least try it and see how good it is, right?
Yeah. Well, it looks amazing. The game looks amazing, and I kind of, to be honest, expected it to get VR support. It's from Bloober Team over there in Poland. Those guys are amazing at bringing these VR games or these flat games into VR. So I just kind of imagine would be their MO to do it again with this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Technoglitch says the Quest 2 still hurts his head even with the upgrading the head strap. Now, what did you upgrade the head strap to? I saw Best Buy is actively selling the Vive Deluxe audio strap for $100. You have to wait for a couple days for it to be shipped, or however many days it takes, but $100, and it's in stock, and that might solve all your issues if you're having comfort issues.
Possibly, and a lot of it, as you well know, has to do with finding that sweet spot of finding the way that it fits your face just right. You have to swivel the front up and down. You have to get that top strap. One of the big keys with me has always been you kind of have to shorten the top strap up just a little bit more than it feels natural. Like if you tighten up the top strap like you would on a PCVR headset, generally the thing still tends to droop on your face a little bit, and you find yourself using your face muscles to kind of lift it, and that gets tiring after a while and painful. But if you take just a half inch more than feels right, take a half inch more slack out of the top, the thing generally tends to stay up where it's supposed to, and the combination of that
And the swivel.
that elite strap and the VR cover really it's really quite comfortable.
I'll tell you what, and I got crucified in Mash's Facebook group for saying about the swivel. And I said, "Oh, that doesn't make a difference." I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm just telling you what worked for me. Wes suggested it, worked for me. Don't crucify me." So
PD says Observer had the VR that you could put into the system prompt, the VR command, but they took it out, which was a shame. But he says it still works well in Vortex. Now, PD, let me ask you: is that the original Observer, or is that the System Redux remake? Have you tried the newer version in Vortex?
That's a good question.
Roots, I had my Quest the Elite strap break on me like so many other people did. A few weeks back, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks even. But I finally ended up getting my replacement strap in. They sent me a brand new one, still in the cellophane. Um, right before my power went out. But the cool thing about it is even though I was without power for a day here, I did manage to find time to get into VR when there was no electricity, and it tracked well, dude. I had a few candles going, and then I turned my flashlight on my cell phone, and then kind of put it up in a high place, and the thing tracked perfectly in that low light scenario.
Nice. You probably forgot you were in the dark, huh? Nice and set.
Dude, it was fun. I played Coaster Combat. I finished that one off.
Oh, nice. You rocked it, huh? Well, that's a good one to do too, because I was gonna say don't want to do one that you're moving around too much. Even though, if you're not moving too much, you'll probably be fine. But if you knock that candle,
Right.
that's not one you
Yeah.
want. It's not like knocking your mic or something. You've got big problems. So
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to knock over candles. We had oil lamps and propane heaters and the whole nine going on. Definitely don't want to do room scale in a situation like that.
no, absolutely not.
PD says it was the original version and it's not available on Steam any longer. I think you can get keys for it from key brokers, but it's not what I was interested in anyway. I want to try the newer one.
Yeah.
I want actual VR support though from Bloober Team. So Bloober Team, if you're out there, make it happen.
Yeah, let's do it.
Anyway, let's talk about one of your babies, Roots. Let's talk a little bit about Population 1 because this past week, Big Box VR have confirmed details about Pop 1's upcoming Season 1 event. Big Box says that the season will include, quote, tons of free new content, new weapons, new map updates, and more. The season titled Uprising will last 10 weeks and sets the stage for a continuously updated battle royale game where the combat will never be the same. So Roots, this is awfully reminiscent of what Fortnite does, right? They interject story content, they tweak their gameplay mechanics, bring new skins, new maps, new weapons, and it keeps their game fresh. And I know you said at the top of the show you're kind of getting burnt out on it a little bit. Do you think that these kinds of changes might make it new to you once again?
It'll be cool. I mean, my thing is that I'm getting to the point where it'll be a good game to go back to every once in a while, just to play with friends or whatever. But it's more of a like streaming game. I don't know. Some of the best parts of it is I guess my last gaming session of it was, of course, granted, I had to sit in front of this thing, so I was doing it sitting down. It just wasn't as fun for me. And usually it's all about hanging out with everybody, and that was cool at first, and I don't know, it just got a little old, but I'm sure I'll go back and I'll check it out each season, and I'll check out different stuff, and it doesn't negate the game. It's just for me, I'm just a little burnt out on it, but I'm sure I'll come back. So
but if say you've got some pretty significant changes to the map, say they introduce some kind of story element that kind of changes up the gameplay. I got to imagine there's probably even going to be new modes. Like they had the war mode recently. I got to imagine there's going to be more of that kind of thing coming. Does that do anything for you?
yeah, that'll be actually, all of it sounds good. I mean, supposedly you can go inside the tower. It's got knives and stuff, and a katana or something. My thing is I'm not big on change, so I would love to see story element. I don't even know is there going to be story element, because I know that is one of the things that a lot of I've heard from kids that they love about it. As a matter of fact, I just ran into some customer the other day that had these like 5 and 6 year olds, and they were asking me if I knew what the Predator sound was. I'm thinking, what the hell is this guy letting their kids watch? But I guess it's the Fortnite characters. The new one is the Predator, right? And they did the noise, and Wes, it was pretty legit, bro. I got a little scared there for a second. I thought a predator was going to jump out of him. But no, I definitely think that would help as well. I think it's a good sign for the game, and for people that are just like fanatics of this type of gameplay. It's the reason to go in. I'm not one of those people that has to have every single skin, or for those people that you have to go in. If you don't go in, man, you're not going to get the new skins. You're going to be left behind, whatever. But yeah, it absolutely is a big draw, and it's really indicative for big box of what they're doing. They're just keep nailing it. So
Scion will be happy to hear that the developers have confirmed that Season 1 will introduce a knife as well as a katana as melee weapons. And Roots, get this, they are adding the high-powered light machine gun, the LMG. The LMG, quote, provides a new support class weapon to suppress enemy fire so that squad mates can flank for the win. Roots, I like new weapons and I like submachine guns. I don't like this idea of a support weapon. If I pick a weapon, I want something that's going to put somebody down. I don't want to just distract people.
Well, you could be, who knows what they mean by support? Because you're able to hold people. My biggest thing that I'm getting kind of tired of is there's just they camp with snipers, and it's like at some point, it gets old. Everybody's sniping and it gets old, and so maybe something to counter that is nice. I don't know if that's what this would do or not, but
we got to call in drone strikes.
Yeah, that would be cool. See, that's one of the things that I think miss. As much as Contractors is good when you have the old school Call of Duty, but what it misses is that all those bells and whistles. I haven't seen a game yet that's able to call in drone strikes or all the different specialty things, right? And it's coming. It's right around the corner. If it's not from Call of Duty, one of these devs have got to implement something like that. You've got 10 different kills in a row, and now you can have a helicopter come in. It's so cool. I don't know.
How long do you think before Pop One gets a zombie horde mode?
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
I would like it. I would like it a lot better if it had it, to be honest.
I think it would be cool if they had zombies just wandering around the cemetery. I was telling people, when I was the vampire skin, it'd be cool if, like, in the night mode, like, I could grow fangs and attack people and do different stuff. That would be cool as well.
What if the instead of having the red ring of death, it was an actual zombie horde that was closing in the whole time?
Yeah, but then you ran into it and it was really just a red screen. I think Onslaught already did that. No, just kidding. That would be cool though, man. I would love to see, and it'd be graphic, but like that horse when Rick the horse got taken over, man. Like, can you imagine if you get into that and it's pulling you and ripping chunks out of your chest? People probably.
Hey, that's a good idea. We need to go ahead and put it out there for Gamer Chick. Tiffany, for the sequel, let's have animals that we can maim and just right. We can use them as bait to distract. Right. We can put down a dog or a horse or something, and that will keep the walkers busy so we can get away.
Or we can put down an Otis.
Yeah, we can put down Otis. That's right.
Yeah,
that's true. And in all honesty, we should be able to do that. We should be able to sacrifice people as well if we want to be evil.
What would be cool is if it was co-op and you could do that to your, because there's co-op games where, like Tarkov, where you can kill each other. So why can't I just grab Wes and accidentally push him into the thing to get away?
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. It's 2021.
Yeah, that's right. The year of doing what you got to do. Sure.
That's right. Early access signups for Season 1 began a few weeks ago, and the season will officially start sometime later this month. Big changes coming to Population 1 Roots, but not only Pop 1. Big changes have been ongoing for Solaris Off-World Combat. This past week, First Contact Entertainment announced that its arena shooter, Solaris Off-World Combat, would be getting PlayStation VR launch this spring. The announcement coincides with a new update for the existing players on the Oculus platform. This update further improves upon the recently added squad functionality. Get this, Roots. First of all, it adds an all new pre match warm up lobby so players can settle in before each match. Here, they'll be able to explore the map, pick up weapons, practice ejecting opponents, and chat with their teammates. Once at least 4 players have entered the lobby, Solaris will start a match a few minutes later rather than waiting for a full roster of 8 players. As players get used to the new system, First Contact will roll out further improvements based on feedback. Now, this is funny to me, Roots, because I mean, this is obviously an awesome addition to this game that they have an active lobby, plenty of stuff to do in their lobby. I find it interesting though, because this has been pretty much the number one complaint for a very long time about Firewall. That we need to be able to do something while we're waiting for a match in Firewall. We need target practice. We need to do something a little bit more than just change our loadout. And apparently they heard it, but they're applying it here instead of there.
Oh, wow. And that's exactly, my thing is I get excited when I hear that First Contact's bringing their game over, and then I find out it's the wrong direction. I want the other game coming over here to PCVR, although it is exciting for Solaris as well, right? I just, I think it's going to be really good for the player pool.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I noticed is that this new active lobby very reminiscent of Pop One, right? Because it's kind of the same thing that you're doing in Pop One in the lobby while you're waiting for a match. You're grabbing weapons, you're target practicing, you're talking to the other players. But that's not the only similarity that I'm drawing here, because, for example, everyone starts out equally in this. There are no loadouts. Everybody starts with a pistol. As you explore the arena during the gameplay, you'll find more weapons like railguns and rocket launchers, and you'll find other useful items as well, like health and shields. So, Roots, I don't know about you, but this all sounds good to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just reading the comments. A couple people said they only tried it one time after they bought it. And Scion says it's not his type of game. I don't know. I think the biggest problem was the player pool. So I think this is definitely going to help, right? Like just having that many more people cross platform. It is cross platform, right? Or did I hear? Am I imagining that part?
It will be cross platform when it launches on the PlayStation VR. It will be cross platform.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Yeah.
What I think that this is, without playing it, I think that this is becoming a solid game. I think that they made a mistake in launching too early. I think it was kind of half baked when they launched it. And you know, kind of how hard it is to get out from underneath the stigma of the negative review. I feel like it's a lot better game now than it was then. Now that they've let you have your second hand in the game, they let you squad up with your friends, and they're doing things like this active lobby. This is all good stuff. And, it's fast paced gameplay with a lot of the things you like about Pop One mixed in with it. And I'm almost to the point here where I'm thinking about maybe trying it out.
Yeah, I would try it out for sure. Absolutely.
My only question is, do we try it out on Oculus, or do we wait to get that aim controller support? Because we know how good First Contact can be with that aim controller.
Well, I say we do both so that I can play it and then you can aim controller it up, and we'd have 2 different views about it, right?
That is true. And not long to wait. Again, springtime, the PlayStation VR release.
I love springtime. It's warm, cozy.
Can't wait for springtime, bro.
Yeah.
Believe you me. The 1.06 update also includes the ability to communicate with your squad whilst in the squad menu, thanks to the addition of Vivox. The shotgun has been tuned up so that it will remain effective at close to medium range, but its long range damage has been greatly reduced. Players will also notice that the update has removed the Vortex Prime from the map rotation. So all this stuff Chinese to me, but I'm sure people who are familiar with the game know exactly what I'm talking about.
That was my favorite part, the vortex, whatever you said. No, I'm just kidding. It sounds cool. I guess it must have been something in one of the maps, right? So,
Yeah. No, it was a map. It's literally a map that they're taking out of rotation.
okay,
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably wasn't a very popular one. People probably weren't playing it, and rather than revamp it, they just took it out of the shuffle.
cool.
The one thing that's really good about First Contact, one of the things that they've really displayed with Firewall is these guys can make maps, dude. They can crank them out. So I got to imagine that before the book is closed on this game, it's going to have a bevy of awesome maps, and it's cool because I mean, not a whole lot of this type of game in VR. I mean, there's plenty of competitive shooters, but this is kind of uh, a melding of the boomer shooter with the Tron shooter, right? And you've always wanted that fast-paced Tron shooter. Well, this is pretty much the closest thing we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let me ask you this: do you think, being that they've worked on this, that they've obviously brought this over to PlayStation VR, there's a chance of Firewall 0 Hour coming to PC? And
No chance in hell.
yeah, okay. So I think that it's like they should have done the opposite. I think Firewall 0 Hour, Rainbow Six Siege in VR on Oculus Quest, on PC VR would blow up just like Population One. Not that it's not blowing up on PlayStation, but it would. I mean, there's such a big following of Rainbow Six. I guarantee it blows up. And I don't know what the logistics would be, but I don't know.
I think the logistics are pretty much what would hold them back because that game was kind of built around the aim controller and built around the PlayStation Network. So I think it would probably be a pretty difficult undertaking because I mean they don't even have dedicated servers for that game. It's locally hosted. It's completely interwoven into the PlayStation Network and the PlayStation equipment. Now I could see possibly, and I don't know how much Sony is involved with it, uh, the funding and what have you. But I could possibly see maybe a sequel down the line being, multi-plat like this game is. But I don't think there's any chance we'll ever see the original Firewall make its way to PC or
That'd be
Quest
cool,
for
even a
that.
sequel. I know, games that are very successful that have just a huge following, and people would geek out. I mean, anybody in the chat that plays Rainbow Six Siege, let us know if you would play in VR a Rainbow Six Siege game, in Firewall 0 Hour 2 or whatever. I know back in the day when I played Siege, I would love to play it in VR. So
Yeah. I mean, I never played that. That was during my time away from gaming before PSVR dragged me back in. But people still play that game. I mean, I see it on Epic Games. I see it. I think it's Epic Games. I see it. I see it everywhere. People still playing that game. It's got quite a dedicated following.
yeah, it's pretty popular. It's pretty it's very strategic, and it's just really cool.
But yeah, as we said before, the PlayStation VR launch this spring not only going to give players another reason to use their aim controller, but also again, it's going to feature crossplay support, which will expand the entire online
Mm.
community. So shouldn't have to wait too long for a match. And that was one of the things that Gamertag said about the game that he liked about it. Not only was it super fast paced and adrenaline pumping action. But you didn't have to wait for a match. Like you got in like that. So
Yeah, cool.
but not the only PSVR news we got this week, Roots. We also learned that Cyrento VR, the PSVR version of Cyrento, received its long-awaited update this week, which adds new maps and weapons that were first seen on the other platforms last year.
Mm.
The new update adds 10 new maps as well as 5 new weapons. The maps that they added on PSVR are Cave, Depot, Marine Outpost, Research Lab, Rooftop, Sanctuary, Slum, Suburb, Subway, and the Training Hall. And then they've added the weapons Apocalypse, Disintegrator, Figment, the IRM 3000, and Nobunaga. They've also fixed a few bugs along with improvements and optimizations made to light maps, textures, and memory management. Roots, when I first came over from PlayStation VR to PC VR, this was one of the games that I was most excited to get to try. At that time, Cyrento was rumored to be coming to PlayStation VR, but it had not yet launched. And the trailer for the game just made it look so good. It was still in early access at the time, though. And when I got to the Steam version and tried it out, I was a little underwhelmed, to say the least. There was a high learning curve for the all the mechanics in the game, and the early maps, which I never made it out of the early maps. I only played it like once or twice. The early maps were just kind of plain and bland to me, not at all like what it looked like in the trailer. Now, with that said, that was many years ago, and many updates have come to this game since then. What I want to know is, have you tried Cyrento as it is today? And if so, what do you think about it?
I have not. I've tried it like you a couple years ago, not on the PlayStation VR either, but obviously because it just coming. But I really enjoyed it, but it was like you, it was very high learning curve. I think it was Anthony that said he had one of his friends or something, one of those people that's like just a god at video games that spent a lot of time in this game and like became this guru of bouncing around upside down, flipping around. I think it would be amazing once if you knew how you were, what to do. I bet it would be phenomenal. That being said, for me, I'd be clunking around and probably dying. It's pretty cool, the movement wise. I definitely need to get back into it because they've added a lot to it. Like you said, it looks phenomenal. I maybe made it a little bit further than you. I did play with my friend Sean Zom Gaming. And so we probably went, I don't know. You can't even play through the campaign together, can you? I think you can only play certain levels. That kind of bothered me, at least back in the day. So I don't know.
Well, that's the question, right? Because the game today is not what it was. Maybe you can now. I really don't know. Uh, but my whole thing that I'm driving at here is I think that this game's worth another look. I mean, I know people that rave about this game.
Mm,
They say it's absolutely amazing. But again, most of these people are playing on PlayStation VR, and
mm,
they're just now getting the updates that everybody else got last year. If I'm not mistaken, and they didn't say this explicitly in the article, I think that these are the Cyrento untethered levels. And what that is when Oculus Quest launched, they made a dedicated Cyrento game for Quest. Uh, they said that all this stuff was going to be exclusive to Quest. These new levels, these new weapons were all just for Quest. And then the next year, they ported all that stuff into the PC
mm,
version.
yeah.
So I think that that's what this is. I think that this is basically Cyrento Untethered being ported over into PlayStation VR.
Yeah, I was excited for a second there until I saw Scion said it looks like a PS2 game. I'm gonna have to nope out now because Scion said. But no, I think I again getting in the headset, looking at the lighting, and then also looking at does not look. I think people forget. I wish we could go back in time and have to be forced Scion to play on a PlayStation 2, and then he'd realize how bad the graphics were back then, even though they were phenomenal at the time. I think it looks really good, and I look forward to going into this game with you, Wes, because I'm sure if there's a multiplayer, why not, right? So,
Now, what it is that Scion has recognized that you pulled the Oculus Quest version for the trailer here, and I think he's trying to jab us again here with this.
oh well, this is weird. The same content going to the PlayStation VR, and I'm pretty sure it's going to look very similar. But yeah, that's all
Probably.
right. That's all right.
But what time is it, Roots?
Quote time.
It is quote time indeed. This is Cyrento developer Mixed Realms via a recent blog post. They say, quote, "It took us much longer than expected as we've been working from home since March last year and communications were a bitch. Also, PSVR is a little trickier to optimize for, and the approval process takes longer than the other platforms. But a promise is a promise. We wanted to make sure that our PSVR fans get all of the goodies our fans on the other platforms get." So, respectable, right? I mean, the game does get a lot of love on the PSVR network, so it only makes sense that any good developer would live up to their word and put in the work, even if they know that they're not going to exactly get a lot of monetary return out of it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people on the PlayStation VR platform, so they may I mean, the more they do, the better that they are, and it's better to just as a company to live up to your word, right? So I agree.
Yeah, they'll sell a few copies based on this, not only because uh, the PSVR content creators for sure are going to play it, but it's on sale right now. It's actually a pretty good price, like 14 or $15 on PSN right now, as well as at Steam, if I'm not mistaken. I think they will sell a few copies based on this.
Oh, cool. That's good.
Mixed Realms also noted that this will be the last update for the game on PSVR. I got to imagine it's probably the last update for the game, period, on any platform, because the studio has two other projects in the works, one of which we know is an unannounced VR game. I find this interesting, Roots, because back during those days of waiting on this to come to PlayStation VR, there were already rumors then about a Cyrento 2, a sequel. We haven't heard much from it in the last couple of years, but I'm wondering if the sequel might be this unannounced VR game that they're talking about.
Yeah, I agree, and it makes me curious what it would be like, right? Like what upgrades, what are they going to change
Well,
for
I
the
seem to
sequel?
remember I seem to remember seeing footage of it, actual like gameplay footage of it, and the graphics were a lot nicer. I mean, it looked better. That was, with most sequels, most early footage, that tends to be the case. But maybe I'm just misremembering things. But it seems like that was a thing 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, it's been a while, right? Man, I can't believe how quickly 3 years go. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but we're talking about a lot of old games here. And by the way, Ray Delator says that this game works great with his B Haptics Fest, which I got to
Ooh.
imagine that's really cool because if anything, this game is action packed, cyber ninja action.
It seems like it'd be right up your alley, bro. Like once you get the moves down, you're gonna be flip flopping all over the place, just desecrating things.
Well, that's what really appealed to me about it. It looked like Ninja Gaiden VR with guns.
Yeah, I think it's just about getting the moves down, spending some time, some quality time in there. I think you get to the point where you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe this is amazing. You know.
Well, the fact that it has co-op support, even if it isn't full co-op, that at the very least tells me that it's a good candidate for a future money show.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what
And
else?
for those, I'm
The
sorry.
Landfall, bro. Radio Runt says we got to play Landfall. I'm thinking we're gonna have to at some point pick it up. I don't know. He says it's on. I don't know if it's on sale at 15 or it's always 15, but it's Landfall all the time on the Discord. And I did never really paid attention to this game until recently, but it does look like it'd be pretty fun to play through. And it's full co-op together campaign.
I've seen people talking about this Landfall on the Discord. I have no idea what it is. I've never heard of it.
It's like it's from the top, like a shooter, but it's kind of like a, I don't know. You'd have to see the trailer. I think it looks like it'd be pretty cool, and it's story based, and I think it'd be cool together, and it'd be perfect for a money show because it looks like there's all sorts of chaos going on. But you have all these mechs and stuff, and it's like how you're controlling in one of those RTSs, but you're not in. It's not an RTS. You're actually moving the stuff around and shooting stuff, and it just looks really cool from that perspective. And so anyway.
Well, if it's a co-op game that can be played in VR, then I'm certainly down to give it a look.
It's on the Oculus store. Yeah, it's definitely. It came out, I think, 2017. It was pretty. I mean, it's very well received. It's just one of those older games that I just never somehow missed. I missed it.
Well, there's a lot of those games from that specific time period.
Yeah, and definitely. And Radio Runt says, he stakes his soul on it. Well, maybe he didn't say that, but
Diz the Game Cat says, "What's good?" A lot of people say Cyrento VR is good. Diz,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know? Is Cyrento good? As like people says it is. Onikazi says Landfall is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. It says what twin stick shooter with a RTS style view. Yeah. So it looked pretty cool. I could just imagine you and me just blasting our way through it co-op style through the full campaign. So
Well, certainly, again, a good money show candidate. And for those of you out there who do not know what the money show it is it is our special episode we do for our Patreon subscribers. People pledge as little as $3 per month. There's a link in the description. We give them the show notes every week from these shows that we're doing, which it's a pretty good little newsletter. I mean, if you want to keep up with the what's what in VR gaming, uh, you know, 95% plagiarized, of course, from all the websites. I'm not out there on the beat or anything. I'm just scouring the internet like the rest of you.
mm,
But you get my show notes, and then we do an occasional special episode. More times than not, really awesome content. So
yeah, if it's something that's important to the money show people, if you want to see us play Landfall, let us know in the comments or in the Discord. And if enough people let us know, then you give us $3, at least $3 a month. Maybe we get it out of that. We buy it out of that pool of money, right? So
this says that Cyrento is in fact good. He knows it for a fact. Because he has it on PSVR and Quest, so he bought it twice. That's how
ooh,
he
nice.
thinks about it. Yeah. So yeah, I have it too. I have it on Steam. It was actually one of the very first games I bought on PCVR. I just haven't played it since back then. 3 years ago.
Cool. Well, definitely we'll have to check it out.
Andy McAvoy asked me, "What am I vaping?" I'm vaping strawberry watermelon Puffs Plus. Delicious. Tastes like candy.
Yeah, it's definitely not weed. Wes has to get his job will require him to be not high.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't live in Colorado like my friend Roots here, so no weed in the vape for me, just nicotine.
Yeah, but good old sweet nicotine, man.
Anyway, let's talk. We've been talking about some old games, Roots. Let's talk some new games, and boy, do we have some cool ones this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Soon, after the fall of North, the great gates of Nangrim could no longer stand against the supremacy that came from the depths of the shadows. And the world we knew stood on the verge of oblivion. The shadows roamed the lands. The embers turned cold. And what was once a resplendently beautiful place fell victim to decay. For centuries, no soul walked beyond the walls of Nangrim, up to this day.
Okay, so that was the latest trailer for Return to Nangrim. This is from developer Psychoforge, and they are implementing optional VR support into their upcoming adventure game, which is due to hit PC next year, 2022. In the game, you play as a dwarf that explores the mystery of a once powerful family known as the Stonebeards. that dwell within a mountain range. You'll fight your way through caverns, solving puzzles, and coming up against deadly creatures. The game uses procedural generation to make the runs on the games varies. Psycho Force describes their title as a mix of Skyrim, Lord of the Rings, and Hellblade. Roots, big words.
Yeah, those are very big words. Those three amazing, not only games but series as well. And everybody in the chat saying they really, I mean, they thought what I thought. I was like, oh my god, this looks amazing. Now this isn't gameplay, and this is specifically not. They released a trailer a couple years ago, right? That had gameplay. This is new. This is more theatrical. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing some gameplay of the updated game. But if it's like the old and like what we're seeing here, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, amazing. And we talked about it at the top of the show. What will PCVR's role be going forward? And we kind of mentioned that this might be a new niche for them. They will be the home of the flat game with VR support. And we're going to see tons more of this type of thing on PCVR. And I think that that's a good thing for the platform as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that gets it close, we're getting closer and closer to AAA. And it's cool that they're, these games that are not necessarily VR made are getting VR ports or VR, I guess a VR version as well at the same time. It's the best way that these games can be made, at the same time, just making a VR port as well and bringing them out on both platforms. Like I was saying earlier at the beginning, we're going to see more and more of that as it becomes easier. And the thing is it's the talent of some of these people that really makes it easy. So as more and more people learn, it's just going to be, there's every team's just going to make sure they've got that VR guy on there to bring it over, a couple hours extra a week or something. Maybe not that long, but.
Technoglitch says he was feeling Lord of the Rings there. Yeah, man. I mean, they say the Stonebeards that dwell within a mountain range. I mean, that's totally dwarves, right? These are it's Gimli.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be Gimli, right? And how cool would it be? That's one of the things. It's like you see a game like this, and it's a good stepping stone to the full-fledged Lord of the Ring, maybe even movie. Man, we always look at the gaming side of it, but I don't even care if it's an interactive movie, but a movie that I can walk around and I can, feel like I'm really there and watch the movie. Would be amazing. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily need to go around and grab stuff and pick up stuff. It would make me interested in movies again.
Could you imagine standing in the presence of the Balrog?
Oh God, maybe that would be too much. Talk about nightmares. You can find your little kid at 3 a.m. watching that movie, 8-year-old, pull off the headset, bug eyes. Like, oh my God. That'd be cool.
Andy McAvoy says, holy crap, look at the early gameplay. Yeah, the early gameplay, it looks pretty good. It looks like Skyrim. The thing about it is that's not even the game. That's prototype. That's kind of like their concept game that they built to show what their idea of the game might be. It looks really good. And I think there's a lot of potential here. Now, what will the VR implementation be like? Well, that remains to be seen, but the game looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I just found the trailer for the early gameplay footage, and so I'm assuming this is what he was looking at, but we'll see. But like you said, this is 3 years old, so I'm sure they've updated it a lot since then, right?
Absolutely. I got to imagine that they'll be implementing all of the new bells and whistles, right? With the VRSS and the ray tracing and all that stuff. Obviously, not all that's going to make it into the VR version, but still.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for some gameplay footage, but I guess this is more of puzzle-like, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's puzzles, there's combat, there's what you would expect out of a good Lord of the Rings game. And Roots, honestly, during my last days as a flat gamer, all those many years ago, one of my favorite games was the Fellowship of the Rings game on Xbox. And basically you play through the first book of the Lord of the Rings. And I say book instead of movie, because it was based on the actual book. There were things in the book that the movie cut out, and those things were in this game. It was amazing. And they also, you know, they made part 2 and part 3, and those were more based on the movie, and they were more action based games, and they were fun too in their own right. But that first one was really story based, and it was less about the action and more about the story and exploration gameplay. And I really love that game, and I think that if we could get a proper Lord of the Rings experience in VR, it would be one of the best, if not the best thing we've ever seen.
Yeah, especially if the right people do it. I'm all for it. Just keep the onslaught people away. No, maybe they learned some lessons by now. I don't know.
Technoglitch said he would love to be the Hobbit with a 4-person co-op play. Yeah, man.
Oh.
You know, one of the cool things about VR is obviously we don't need a 3D TV to watch 3D movies. And while you can't find a proper 3D version of the original Lord of the Rings movies, the Hobbit trilogy that came out in the subsequent years, those all have 3D versions. So we can watch those inside the headset, and they look really good.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be cool, like a four-person co-op game, and maybe not the Hobbit game, but like you know, I could be Gandalf, and we have, you know, you got the dwarf, you got like the Hobbit. Everybody's got their special skills. That'd be really cool, right? Almost Gauntlet
Yeah,
style,
and
but
then
through the actual environment. It's like the game. Oh my
yeah, that's
god.
what I was going to say. Then everybody could like shoot food.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got Gauntlet. Right? We need a new one now. But yeah, that sounds amazing. I can't wait for it. It sounds really cool.
Andy McAvoy says, when's it due roughly? 2022. This is a next year game, which is disappointing on one hand, but on the other hand, you know, 2022 games are better than 2021 games, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They're going to be amazing. You shall not pass. Absolutely, Paradise. Absolutely.
Ray Delator says the skull with the beard looks like you, Roots.
Yeah. Well, I need a little less skin on my face probably, but maybe a little bit longer beard. You know, it's funny. I was at a coffee kiosk the other day, and I looked through the window because it was double laned, and there was this guy with this big old beard, right? And I looked over at him. Or actually, I told the barista first. I said, "He's got my future beard," and she turned and told him, and then he was like, "Yeah." It was pretty cool. We had a moment. It was nice.
It's nice to have moments these days, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. You know who else likes? I don't even know if that's a thing, man. Does she like moments? I don't know.
She likes certain moments.
Yeah.
Anyway, the developer says that there will be weapon crafting as well as survival elements. So Scion got a little bit more excited there as I read that line.
Well, I'll tell you, weapons crafting for me, it's got the beginnings of that that gameplay loop, right? You're upgrading your weapons, you're finding stuff. It makes you want to play more. You get your new weapon, you get back in there, check it out. So that sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's one of the things that kind of hook you into Godfall, which I keep saying that I'm going to send it back, but then I just keep playing further into it.
Well, it's funny because you also downplay the game like it's not that good, but I mean,
it's not. It's pretty mediocre, to be honest.
How horrible the game that's taken so much time, you know? Must be doing something right.
Yeah, it's really not overwhelmingly fun or anything, but there's probably 5 VR games that I've played longer than I've played Godfall, and then everything else I've played Godfall more.
Well, that's my point as far as like imagine a really good, well-made flat game that's put in VR that has that same game loop. Then it's like forever. Then it's over, bro. It's like you're in.
Yeah, I think next I'm going to go on to Control Ultimate Edition. They just gave that away, and we're going to get to that in the upcoming free stuff and killer deals. But before we get to our weekly reminders, a couple more news items here. Roots, the 25th of February is going to be a pretty damn good day because we're going to be getting 2 awesome looking VR games on that day. First of all, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this quite right, I want to say Naau or Naau, The Lost Eye. Turkish studio Gamebit has announced that its VR action adventure game Naau, The Lost Eye will launch into Steam Early Access on February 25th. And I went ahead and stepped on Roots' trailer again. So Roots, let's take a look at the trailer.
All right.
Okay, so in Naau, The Lost Eye, players explore the titular world fighting fantastical enemies and solving puzzles. The latest trailer shows off a wide variety of enemies and gameplay styles. Roots, this game looks great to me, and I'll tell you why. This, to me, looks like a proper expansion of a game that I already love, Journey of the Gods. This looks like what I wanted Journey of the Gods to be. It has that same varied gameplay with all the different enemies, all the different combat styles, magic, puzzles, everything you'd want in one of these types of games. But it looks beautiful on top of that. Uh, this game looks phenomenal to me.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I was just watching the trailer going, "Oh my god, like I want to play this now." And then, for me, I know when we talked about Journey to the God, it was like early on in the series. I think even the other two were around. At least Alex was, I know that. And I just didn't, for me, I just didn't care for it. I loved Zelda back in the day, but it just seemed very linear, like you were kind of guided on where you could go, even though it seemed like you could go a lot of places you really couldn't. This actually looks like exactly what you said, like everything that had shortcomings in that game, this game has. And it looks like the environments are amazing, right? Like to scale, you're going to be looking at some of these things. You got the creepy guy looking over his shoulder. I mean, it's got everything you want, Wes. And I can't wait. It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Again, launching in the Steam Early Access on February 25th. GameBit anticipates keeping the game in early access for about 2 to 4 months. They say it's in a near finished state as it is, with some final polish needed to the boss fights, as well as a few other elements. They said the final version will also include more content, though it's not clear what they mean by that exactly. No word on possible PSVR or Quest versions, but on Steam, this game is said to support Valve Index, Oculus Rift, and HTC
Mm.
Vive. Um, Journey of the Gods was a fun game. I would encourage you to give it another look and play a little deeper into it, because while the individual levels are a bit linear, as you go deeper into the game, uh, the scale of the levels increases by quite a bit. Uh, to when you get to like the ending levels of it, you're actually it's not linear. Like you're going here and then you backtracking and going to another place that you unlocked, almost like a Metroidvania during the final levels. Um, I'd say the last 2 to 3 hours of that game are just amazing with the scale of the levels and the challenge of the gameplay. It was not easy, especially toward the end.
Well, I know you guys said that a lot of the gameplay, like you added a bunch of different mechanics, and you have to switch it up as far as do this to this guy and do that to that guy. I don't know. I just found myself, maybe I should go back in there. I just found myself not caring when I played that game. But I'll have to check it out, see if it's any different, or if it's just something I didn't care for, or didn't pull me along as much as I would have hoped it would. But who knows? We even
Yeah.
just 6 months can change your opinion, right, on a game.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slow burn, but once you get past that barrier and get deep into it, it's really fun. And again, my big complaint about it was the lack of detail in the art style.
Mm-hmm.
But what the detail that it lacks there, it makes up for in the sound design. Some of the best sound design I've ever heard in a VR game.
Yeah. Ray Delator says the game looks great, but he's an open out. He's tired of early access games for VR. So, 2 to 4 months, you could play the full game, and it'll be good to go. But I completely understand your, we've actually had that conversation about a few games. That you get kind of tired of playing through something that's not fully fledged out, but depends on how good it is, right? Like if the game doesn't seem like it's any different, like even Ven VR was somewhat early access, right? And it was amazing in its early access, and now it's even better. So
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of like a metaphor for VR. People get into VR, they have a bad experience the first time, or maybe even the first couple of times, and then they get this idea in their mind that VR as a whole is bad. You kind of see the same thing with early access. I mean,
Yeah.
there are good early access titles and there are bad ones, but after you play a couple of bad ones, you're kind of just done with it, right? Because you spent your money on it. A lot of these devs don't ever even finish their games. So I totally get the sentiment here. But you look, for example, at a game like Stride in its early access state, not something that I want to play. I want that game to be finished before I even take a look at it. But on the other hand, you have a game like Carnage Chronicles, which was absolutely amazing in early access. Primordian, still in early access, is a great game in my opinion. So yeah, it just depends on a game to game basis, and judging by the looks of this one, pretty good. And you're not going to have to wait very long to find out. Just stay tuned, friends, and we'll have more on this game as it launches. Again, 25th of February, not very long to wait.
Yeah, and I see some logic to your logic there, Ray. Because you wait 2 to 4 months, and then there's a sale. You could even get a better game for a cheaper price. You just have to have patience that Roots doesn't have. I don't know if I want to wait for this game. I'm not waiting.
Back before I was a content creator, that was kind of, I wouldn't buy a game unless it was on sale. I never bought things on launch, ever. Never bought things on launch. Certainly never pre-ordered anything. And I would wait 3 months, and that's when I would buy my games. I'd get them all for half off, super cheap. And the game's still just as good, if not better, 3 months down the line than it was when it launched anyway.
Yeah, I'd say that has a big price tag, has a big thing in the back of your mind, right? So,
well, take this for example. Imagine that all of those people that shit all over Medal of Honor when it launched for $60 a couple of months ago. Imagine that they waited till today and bought it for $48. Now that it's had all these updates and improvements made to it. It probably would be quite a different story for that game, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people got a bad taste in their mouth, and I do have to shout out the minecart part of this game. Like every game should have a minecart in there. It's fun.
I agree. And I was thinking that the other day when I was playing through that Himalaya level in the coaster combat.
How cool is that, right?
Yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, not the only awesome game coming out on the 25th, right, Roots?
Yeah, absolutely.
People are exceptional. They are the only species that has managed to master the art of converting energy to go beyond their natural abilities. Thanks to steam, petrol, or electricity, their lives have become easier and more pleasant. But it's my discovery, the pneuma, that is the real revolution. Pneuma is what makes living beings alive. It not only sets machines in motion, but also enables them to carry out their own commands. I have decided to use it to feed inanimate matter in order to free people forever from the need for tiring physical work and to allow them to develop their potential unhindered. But not every experiment is successful. That's why I need your help.
All right, so there you have it, folks. Anybody who's been following our channel over the past year already knows all about this one. Developer VR Bros has confirmed this past week that their VR horror thriller, A Wake In, is going to hit Steam on February 25th. To mark the occasion, the studio has also revealed another small trailer for the game, which is what we just watched there. A Wake In sees players explore a mysterious estate while confined to a wheelchair. The game uses a unique locomotion system, getting players to wheel themselves along environments in their wheelchair. You'll use this mechanic to avoid detection from disturbing angry mannequins, solving puzzles, and when necessary, defending yourself from attacks. You'll use the mechanic to avoid detection from these mannequins. Oh, I put that in there twice, but to read the same line twice, Roots. The VR bros say the game should last around 5 to 6 hours overall. Roots, you know I've been totally hyped for this game ever since we got the first reveal of it. Finally, our wait is over. Just less than 2 weeks away now, and we're gonna get a wake in.
Nice. Is this going to make it on your beat it challenge list?
I'd say that that's very likely, but ask me again on Wednesday, and we'll have a much better idea of that.
Oh, that's true. Well, I'll tell you what, man. PD said this game gave him nightmares, and I'm looking forward to that because Wes is constantly, like, as a connoisseur, is like picking up horror games in VR and just chucking them over his shoulder and like that ain't that good. Oh, this is okay. We need that real killer game to come out, right? We've been waiting for the killer VR game to come out in VR, and maybe this will be it.
PD says that this game gives him a heavy Wilson's Heart vibe, which is music to my ears.
Yeah, absolutely. How about that game that Gamertag was playing yesterday? Flat, man. I was imagining that game in VR. That looked like it was pretty creepy, and it was pretty cool the way that it was done.
Yeah, man, I think that game would be cool in VR, with the exception of one thing. It looked very, very dependent upon mouse and keyboard. Like, it was point and click. It was a point and click game, so it would have to have a. You couldn't do a like a gamepad version like in Vorpex or something. It would have to have motion controller support with the emulated mouse.
Well, who knows how that would work. Where you could, because I mean, just like Wilson Hart, you click, instead of clicking a person, you just click which way you want to go. But yeah, it would definitely take a lot of who knows, I don't know, but it looks pretty cool. I like the gameplay. Seemed creepy.
Yeah, look cool, and a nice mixture of video footage with rendered game world. They blended it together quite nicely. It looked very nice.
Absolutely.
But anyway, Roots and I are going to be checking out this game this week, so tune in on Wednesday's virtual show. We're not checking out the full game just yet, but we do have a copy of a preview build that we're going to be checking out over the next couple of days. May even do a gameplay of this, Roots.
Nice. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to get in there.
So yeah, if you haven't already, be sure that you're subscribed. Be sure to click the notification bell, because if I do a gameplay, it'll probably be up tomorrow or the next day. So stay tuned for that. And at any rate, we're going to be discussing it on Wednesday. So be sure to tune in for the virtual show. Again, a weekend from VR Brothers comes to Steam on the 25th. So 2 awesome games on one day, Roots. We're going to be busy, right?
Yeah, we have less than 2 weeks to wait. That's going to be awesome.
Yep, less than 2 weeks to, and it's, we're trying to focus on our challenge here, and all these stinking new games keep coming out and distracting us.
I know. Well, that's all right though. That's why I just figure a chunk at a time, just play a little bit, come back to it, good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And these games, I'd say very likely that both of these games end up on the list.
Yeah, well, that's good, because your list is my list, and I can't wait. To check them out.
Right. All right, Ruth. So that's going to bring us to our weekly reminders, and we're going to kick off the reminders as we always do by reminding you to help us to support these developers who bring us all these awesome games. They don't ask much, friends. But one thing you'll notice, even on these trailers that we just played, they do ask that we please wishlist their game. So I want to ask you all to go with us right now in real time. You're already at your computer. How hard is it to bring up Steam, bring up Oculus, and just wishlist one of these games we've talked about today? And we've talked about some good ones, Ruth. It shouldn't be very hard to find one to wish list today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, like I always say, I just this week I noticed there's stuff on sale because I've wish listed things like Boneworks, which I said last week. I said it was $20.89 that GT had offered to help me with. It was actually Boneworks, But I think I need to pick it up, bro. It's $24, man. It's a good deal.
Yeah, and it's one of the best VR games, period. So, yeah, I think that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
Anyway, of course, I go to wishlist something in Steam, and Steam wants to update on me.
Yeah, definitely going to be pretty much everything on here. Waken, I've already got on there. I don't think I've got the Naau. I probably did. Return to Nangrim. I think I've got them all wish listed, but they're all amazing games that I have to. System Shock. There you go. System Shock 2. I don't think that's even in existence yet. So,
yeah, and Solaris even. I mean, if you if you're like me and you have to go to Oculus to wish list something, why not Solaris? They've done proper work on that game. I think it deserves a look now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try Steam one more time. Come on, baby. All right, we're in Steam. Very good. So
We did it, Wes.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
We did it.
I don't know if I have Naau on my wish list yet or not. Probably do, honestly. We're having technical issues here, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's my life, technical issues. But,
Yeah,
if it wasn't for technical issues, I don't know what I would do. Keeps me busy, Wes.
Here we go. So add to okay. It is not on my wish list, and now it is on my wish list. So there we go. Be sure to let us know in the comments down below what you wish listed this week.
He says he's going to wait for Hyperdash. That's what Void Citizen said.
You're not going to have to wait very long for that, man. Coming soon. That's what the Oculus store says anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, that brings us to our next reminder, and everybody's favorite reminder: free stuff and killer deals. Nice Roots. We're going to kick off free stuff and killer deals the way we always do, with a reminder to get your PlayStation Plus free games for the month of February. A very good month, one of the better months we've ever seen, in fact, for PlayStation Plus. First of all, they're giving us Concrete Genie, which does again have a very limited PlayStation VR mode included with it. So be sure to pick that up. They're giving us Control Ultimate Edition, both the PS4 and PlayStation 5 versions of one of the best, what most people would consider to be one of the best flat games that have come out in recent years. Again, probably my next play is going to be Control Ultimate Edition.
Wow.
And then Destruction All-Stars. This is a PS5 game that just came out, and they're giving it away on day one. So it's a free, brand new release on PlayStation 5. So be sure that you get in there and you're claiming your games, because these are some good ones.
Wow. I didn't even know about that one. So what is it? Like a racing game or destruction game?
Yeah, it's kind of a demolition derby type game,
Nice.
kind of like
Wreckfest?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that, but it's a little bit more, it's got a bit more bling to it. It's a bit more 2021, we'll say.
Nice. Well, who doesn't love 2021?
Right. Epic Game Store, their weekly free game, Halcyon 6. Don't ask me, bro. It's free. Pick it up.
Yeah. Some kind of a city game or something I thought I saw.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was either next week or the week after. They're actually pretty solid release that they're getting ready to give away. Something pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think it was next week.
Oculus Quest Store, the Lunar New Year sale. This is the last day, mind you, of the Lunar New Year sale. We don't get big Quest sales often, so if any of these sales tickle your fancy, be sure you go pick it up immediately after the show today, because these sales will not be active tomorrow. We got a couple of bundles, and by the way, be sure to go check out the sale for yourself, because I've only listed a few highlights here. There's a lot more on sale than what I'm going to say here. So just go check it out for yourself. Maybe the game you're waiting on is on sale, and I just didn't list it here. But with that said, we got a couple of cool bundles. The first one contains Angry Birds Isle of Pigs, Blast On, and Mini Motor Racing X. You can bundle all those Quest games together for $40. Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. $40. It's a good deal. 3 games.
$10 more, Roots. $50 gets you Moss, Space Pirate Trainer, Wander, and Walkabout Mini Golf. Now that, my friend, is a killer bundle.
Yeah, it's got Walkabout Mini Golf. Everybody loves that one. Really good.
Yeah, awesome bundle for $50.
What about PD's favorite though? That's my favorite. There, everybody's got to get Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is $22 on the Oculus Quest store today. Pixel Rip 1995 is $16. In Death Unchained, one of the best releases of 2020, is on sale for $24. That's like 20% off or something. Great deal on that game. And Shadow Point, one of the best puzzlers on the platform, if not the best, $15. And all of these titles, Roots, cross-buy enabled. So
Wow.
you get the Rift version as well. So if I said any of those games that, excluding the bundles, the individual sales that I listed there, those are all cross-buy titles. So if you'd rather have them on Rift, you get both. So go check that out.
Nice.
The Oculus Link store, many of the same sales that I've already read off to you here, but one notable exception, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, $48, Roots. Hard not to get that one at this. I thought 60 was a little steep for it, but with the recent improvements, 48's a lot closer to the mark.
Yeah, see, my problem with the 48 mark, like if this was on Steam, I might even be more inclined to get it than Oculus, just because I know you'd be able to play the PC version.
I'm pretty sure that it is on Steam as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the sale is on Steam?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, well then I got to look up for another reason to not get it. $30 sounds a lot more feasible for me, but $48 is definitely a better deal than 60 for sure. And like you said, everything's ironed out. I mean, I got to the story part in this where things were starting to get good. I mean, I saw this part right here. So yeah, it was cool. Definitely worth it.
Yep. Now we move on to Steam, your aforementioned Steam store. And the Steam store has an absolutely insane sale going on right now. I've got a laundry list of picks here from the first less than a half of the thing. The thing is so massive that I wasn't even halfway through it and I had to quit. I said, you know what, this is enough. Definitely go for yourself and check out the Steam sale. Yeah, and I know what you say. They always put the same stuff on sale, and there is a lot of that on there. That's true. But there are truly some deals, some new low prices, games that I don't remember seeing this cheap on there. So you need to go give it a look.
Yeah, absolutely. And the games like that, if I don't have a game and it's something that I need to have, like Boneworks, I mean, that's a good deal for $24.
Yeah, so let's fly down the list here and tell you what we've noticed in that first less than half of the page. Scion's one of Scion's favorite games, The Forest, $9. Not a bad deal for that one.
Yeah, especially with as much gameplay as there. There are a lot of people in the Discord playing Forest tonight, actually.
Yep, good time. I mean, if you like to get into a game, just hang out with friends. I mean, there's plenty of sawing logs and fishing to do in that one, huh?
Yeah, just don't go with Roots because he'll eat your food even though you're about to die and you're dying to the fire. That's my favorite.
That's true. Star Wars Squadrons, $24. This game I feel like has been underpriced pretty much since a month after it launched. It's been on sale the whole time.
Yeah, it's got to be because of the release, the way it released, but definitely $24, worth it all day. It's one of those games that I want to get back into.
Absolutely. $24, not much money, especially when you're talking about a game like Boneworks, which you just mentioned. Boneworks, one of the best games in VR, $24. Goes on sale sometimes, but not often. So you definitely want to pick it up while it is on sale.
Absolutely.
The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, what's left to say about this one? Absolutely one of the best games in VR, period. On sale for $32 and a steal for that price, in my opinion.
There's one thing you forgot to say. Overall game of the year across all platforms, Virtual Strangers approved.
Absolutely. 2020 show, game of the year, all platforms.
Yep.
The Walking Dead Saints.
Hands down.
Hands down. No close second.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 VR Roots, another one of VR's forgotten gems. We finally have hardware available to us now that can actually run this game smoothly, and you can get it for $18.
Yeah, I need to get back into this, Wes. I need to mod it up. The biggest mod that I saw that would benefit me, and I think I said it before, is the settlements and let them create their own. And then I could just run around and do everything. But this is on my list of games that I want to get into and finish. Just because I never played the original Fallout. All I've ever played is in VR. And the story is so good that I got to finish it.
I concur with everything you just said. The Room VR, A Dark Matter, one of the best puzzle games to come out in recent years. $20, so that's 33% off. Solid title.
Yeah, we need to get in and try that, Wes. You haven't played it, right? Like that's one of those ones
I
that
have not.
everybody's like, dude, you haven't played this? This is one of the best puzzle games or escape the room type of games in VR. So
Yeah, and I love that type of game, and this one has a particularly dark tone to it, and that's right down my alley.
yep, absolutely.
Pistol Whip, also 33% off at $20.
Yeah, I got to get 2089. We're going to be talking about that on a future Monday show at some point, or Wednesday show, or virtual show, whatever we call it these days, because I just got access to it because of Mash Daddy. So, which means you have access to it on Steam anyway, but you probably had access, I guess, on Oculus.
Yeah, I own this game on Oculus, and you're correct. We're going to be doing a comparison of the top rhythm games sometime in March, probably. And Pistol Whip 2089 certainly on the to-do list in the very near future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rick and Morty Roots, a game some people say is good, other people say that it's okay, other people say not the best. I think it's an okay game. I've always thought it was overpriced for $30. But when you start talking about Rick and Morty for $7,
Ooh,
well, now you're talking my language.
$7 is a no-brainer. Pick it up. Is that one of those ones that? Well, I guess I was going to say cross-buy, but it doesn't matter. It's on Steam. Definitely pick it up for sure if you don't have it. I think it's worth playing, especially for $7.
Yeah, certainly if you're a Rick and Morty fan, for sure pick it up. I mean, $7 is $7, bro.
Yeah, even if you aren't, somebody you know is. So don't deprive them of Rick and Morty, please.
Right. Gorn, one of the most popular VR games of all times, Roots, is only $10 on Steam right now.
Oh, wow. It's a good deal. Yeah, that's for all the content, man. They add a lot of content, right? So
Yeah. Arizona Sunshine Deluxe Edition. So
Ooh.
this is the Deluxe Edition of Arizona Sunshine, which means it includes all of the DLCs that came out after the game. So I think there's like 3 or 4 DLC missions that got added in. $20. I think it's worth that all day long.
that's half price. The regular edition, that's a no-brainer, right? With all the DLC and it's co-op. Yeah, if you don't get that, I don't know I think you're something wrong with you. I already own it though, so.
Yeah, so I mean, it's $20 for what I consider to be a VR staple at this point. It's a classic VR game, Arizona Sunshine, with all the DLC.
Radio Runt says Rick and Morty is just okay. The show or the thing? Because you also say Goonies is just overrated. Now you ripped out my soul. Short Round, bro. Come on. What was his name in that? I don't know, man. I wonder about you, Radio Runt.
I know, man. Sometimes you gotta wonder. Oh,
Yeah.
Martin showing up. Hello, friend. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where were we, Roots? Oh, speaking of classic VR games, VR staples, Moss Roots, one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in VR. A steal at $13.
Oh yeah. Especially if you've never played this game, it's so good, right? The story, the reflection. You get the reflection in the PC version. Can't beat that. So
Yeah, a beautiful game. One of those games where the atmosphere is just so good that you can just chill out and just hang out in the game, man. You don't even have to play it. Just relax in
Yeah,
the game.
yeah. I just
And for, I mean, this is a $30 game at $13. It's a great price.
the steal must play, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, sir. Speaking of a steal, how about the funniest game I've ever played and a solid platformer in its own right? Trover Saves the Universe, $16.
Yeah, this is definitely a must buy at 16 bucks. I thought it was a must buy at 30 bucks. And this is a game that you need to finish. This would be a good game. I think is it on your list? Maybe not. I don't remember.
If it's not, it is. I mean,
Okay.
I've got a list of about 50 games, and I just listed 10 of them on the show. But yeah, it's definitely on the list.
Yeah, it's a good game. It was really cool to knock off this one off my list. I enjoyed it.
This next one, I didn't put the full price in the notes here, so I'm not don't exactly remember how much it was. But Into the Radius, I think it was $22, maybe $23. Normally $30. Scion very high on this game. Derulo said it was pretty good too. So yeah, if you want tons of gameplay, first person shooter, creepy as all hell, unique story arc, and probably the most improved game I've ever seen since I've been in VR. Check out Into the Radius.
Yeah, Science says he's going to be finishing that soon.
Yeah, he did say that. 11 Table Tennis, a game I bought last week on Oculus Quest. Haven't got a chance to check it out, but the consensus best table tennis game in VR, $10 on Steam right now.
Wow, what did you pay for it on Quest?
It wasn't much more than that. It was either maybe $12 or $13.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. I think I've tried it before. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's cross-platform play on it as well. So
oh, nice. $20.99. Void Citizen says for Into the Radius.
there you
good
go,
deal.
$21.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Absolutely. Martin says, played it in early access, need to get back in. If you're talking about Into the Radius, you definitely need to get back in because it was a janky mess in early access. It is a completely different game now than it was back then.
Absolutely.
Surprising. I didn't want to go back into it, but I was glad when I did because they completely made that game over. And it's actually worth playing now. It's really good.
It's on your 50 list.
Yeah. Maybe. No,
Maybe.
not really. I'm not going to finish that. It's too long.
That's too long.
You know who says there's never too long?
My mom!
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Carnage Chronicles, Roots, one of the
Ooh.
best dungeon crawler games in VR. A very cheap price. Have you ever seen this game for $14 before?
No, but I'll tell you what, it may be one of the best dungeon crawlers, but it is the best dungeon crawler that's co-op with more than two people or with three people. I mean, I don't even know that there is a dungeon crawler that in VR that you can play with three people. So it's amazing. And yeah, definitely worth checking out. We need to finish it, right? We did most of it.
We've got plans for this one, Roots. Secret plans. But
Super secret.
yeah, we're going to be doing Carnage Chronicles on the channel in the very near future. So stay tuned for that. Budget Cuts 2. One of the best stealth games of the last year. So $15. Budget Cuts 1, most people say is okay. Budget Cuts 2, most people say is very good. And I got to imagine that a lot of that has to do with our friends at Fast Travel Games who had, had their hand in the mix here when it comes to developing this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a good game. And I need to get back into it, which I say all the time.
Absolutely, as do I. Abduction, one of the best puzzlers in VR, a game that at one time had some optimization issues. Those are now solved, and a steal for $12.
Yeah, that's a steal for sure. Now, let me ask you this about Abduction. If you went into it today, would you have to do a refresher? I can't remember much about this where I was at,
I don't think I would have to because literally when I quit playing was I had just unlocked a new world and
God.
literally left the beginning world that we started in and went to another world. Actually, there was a couple of new worlds. I unlocked a couple of different new worlds, and I hadn't really made it deep into any of them. So I feel like I could pick it back up if I had to. But now, would I want to? I'd probably want to play it from the start. That's just how I am.
Mm. I would think I would rather play Myst and get the inside scoop and then come in. That thing was Abduction. I know I was at a part where that I like had to read a lot of stuff and learn, and it's like now I would have to go back and reread that stuff and try to figure out that puzzle that you just went through and got to the next world. You remember I was right at that spot. So what I would have to do is I'd have to stream when a time when Wes could climb, I could climb in his backpack of knowledge and he could like help tell me how to get through there. It would be good to go.
Well, here's the good thing, because if I go back into this game, Roots, if I go back into this game, I will be starting it over and playing through it. So, because,
Might as
because
well.
of the competition, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't take me nearly as long to get through the first level. Now that I
Okay.
kind of have an idea what to do.
Okay. Andy McAvoy says VR Dungeon Knight also has 3-player co-op and is a dungeon crawler. So I stand corrected. And now I'm intrigued. Now I think I have. Do I have VR Dungeon Knight in my inventory? I don't know. I might have that game in my inventory. I could have sworn I saw it in my library, but I don't know if I've tried it before. So maybe we need to check that out as well.
Most people, even people that were excited for Borderlands 2 VR, said that $40 is a bit high for it, especially when it's not. The VR support could have been better in it, but in my opinion, this is a great game. It's a load of fun, and for $20, I mean, you won't find a better $20 game.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, this is the thing. Let's be realistic. I mean, it's on PCVR, it is amazing, beautiful, gorgeous. There's not any of the downsides that some of the other, I guess, the PlayStation version. Although I never really played that, and I'm sure on the PlayStation 5 it looks phenomenal. But the one thing is the lack of multiplayer that usually keeps people out. But this is the thing: if you've never played through Borderlands 2, you don't know any different, and it's such a good AAA game. Talk about that gameplay loop with guns. To me, it's almost too much. There's so many guns that I have a hard time even looking at them anymore when I get them, because it's like it's a constant look at. If you love to upgrade and get different guns, this is it, man. There is so much, and it's a funny game. It's got an amazing story. It's a really good game, and $20. I mean, talk about dollars to content, right?
Yeah, dude. You're paying like 50 cents an hour for gameplay, or probably less than that when you consider that this game comes with all of the story DLC from the flat release. I mean, it's so much game here. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Spry Guy says I do indeed own VR Dungeon Night on Steam, so yeah, I can check it out. I'm sure you probably have it too somehow. But yeah, no, this game for $20 is a no-brainer. It's one of the games that I have. I've actually looked at it several times recently and thought about playing some, just because I've always wanted to play through the story, and I've only gotten so far. And if it's one of those games that I could play and stream and possibly knock it off the list at some point, which is probably not going to happen, but it'd be an amazing game to play through. So.
There's just so much loot in it. It's so overwhelming for someone like me who's so detail oriented. I can't not look at the guns, and there's so many guns.
Well, and that's the thing. It's going to take some time, but you're always selling them and upgrading ammo, and I don't know, man. And especially, dude, this is what you need to do just to satisfy my curiosity. I want to know what this game looks like in the G2, super sampled, and just
think about that.
Yeah, because if you can make it look how it does on a flat screen in VR, because that was one of the things, I've super sampled it, but I'd like to see how it looked or hear from you. That'd be interesting. So,
Planting seeds, Roots, planting seeds.
yeah, absolutely.
Down the rabbit hole. Again, a game that some people liked, others didn't. We liked it quite a bit. We thought it was a good deal at $20. It's certainly a good deal at 10.
Yeah, it's really a good deal at 10, especially if it's one of those games you were curious about, but you weren't really willing to pull the trigger. $10 is a really good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Synth Riders, a game we recently covered on the channel. $15. I think that's a good price for that one as well.
Yeah, get in the conversation in the Discord. People are actually actively beating each other's scores right now. It's a group of around 5 or 6 people, Wes included, that are competing for that leaderboard.
Yeah, I see you, Radio Rant. Doesn't believe
Yeah.
me. Contractors. Probably the best Call of Duty style gunner in VR. That's what most people would tell you. $12 for that one.
Yeah, and that was one of the big things about Pavlov back in the day, right? It was like, hey, dude, this is the cheapest version. It was like $10 or something. Man, you can get in contractors now for $12. That's a no-brainer. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Did you like Rick and Morty? Did you like Trevor Saves the Universe? Then you'll probably like Accounting Plus, especially since it's just $5.
Wow, that's a cheap game. Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Red Matter, one of the most beautiful games I've ever looked at in VR. Absolutely stunning, and a solid puzzler to boot. $13.
That's a good deal. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Vertigo Remastered, one of the best releases of 2020. Another one on the list, and I don't remember if it was yours or mine, but it's all the same anyway, right?
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah, it's on my list. Definitely worth playing through. It's one of those games I want to play through anyway. And I was thinking about this earlier when we finished Gauntlet Slayer Edition last night, and we watched the credits, right? The full credits to see if there was anything in there. There was so many names involved in it, right? And I was thinking, man, that's the difference between, that's what I said, the difference between a AAA game and an indie game is all these people working on it, right? But this game here was pretty much one person, maybe a couple other people helping. But Zach, imagine what Vertigo 2 is going to be like, because I know there's not just one person working on it this time. I think it's going to blow us away. I think it may be the new standard for a lot of these games, to be honest. So
Certainly interested in that. Certainly toward the top of my most highly anticipated games list for the year. Vertigo 2. And if you're like me and you don't want to wait, you don't have to, friends. Vertigo Remastered, $20 on Steam right now.
yeah, pick it up now. Definitely worth it.
And the one thing that I decided that I was going to end my little list off here with is a Steam sale staple. It's always on sale, but it's such a good deal that I have to mention it every time, and that's the Crow Team bundle, which gives you all of the Serious Sam VR games, and there's like 4 of them, as well as the Talos Principle for $30.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. And if you can't afford $30, what is also on sale, any of the Serious Sams for what, $6, right? This is definitely the $30 is worth it. But the only reason I bring up Serious Sam 3, for any of the people that enjoyed playing Gauntlet VR with me, I am going to be playing it through on my Twitch channel. It is on my list, and it's going to be happening soon. So, like, if you were in that Gauntlet group and you want to partake, or if you weren't, this is actually, I can get, Wes, up to 16 people in the co-op through the entire story, and so we're gonna go through and we're gonna beat this game. It's a very long game, but I think it's gonna be a blast, and you don't want to miss it.
Roots taking a team effort to win in the competition.
Well, I'll tell you what, I said that in the beginning. I was talking to my stream, and I was telling them that in that way I felt like I had a little bit of advantage because I'm a multiplayer. I like to stream with the stream, right? And so some of the games I picked are games that I could actually benefit from using their help. But same games like From Other Sun, it doesn't matter unless it's Scion helping me. I don't know how we're going to be able to beat that game, but I want to try it for sure.
For sure. But anyway, a great deal at $30. Definitely worth a check. Those Serious Sam games, very intense, fast-paced boomer shooter games. If you like that style, and you've got a good stomach, I mean, this is the way to go. And like Root said, multiplayer enabled, co-op versus, it's all in there.
Yeah, 16 people, dude. I read that today, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's crazy." But yeah, fast-paced. You better have a strong stomach. The movement is very quick. So,
yeah. All right, that's going to bring us on to our weekly Viveport check. No new games for the second week in a row, Roots, from Viveport, but Viveport is hosting the 2021 Beyond the Frame Festival this week. It's highlights a lot of the best new immersive media, and it runs through the 21st.
ooh.
So they're highlighting a bunch of interactive experiences as well as 360 video. Some of the good ones that I've seen at other shows of this nature over the last year are here.
Okay.
So like Gravity's here, The Line's here, Gloomy Eyes is here. Stuff you've seen, there's stuff you haven't seen as well. So you should check it out if you have eye for it.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. You know what's funny is like when we talked about the Steam demos and stuff, I thought I could care less because a demo is it's just not enough to really what you get to try isn't going to drag me in, but getting to check out all these different experiences, like full experiences, you know what I mean? That intrigues me, especially if you're going to put them all in one place and it's free and you're saying, hey, these are the best. These are the ones you should have already checked out, Roots. And I think it'd be great for a future segment talking about it. So,
hey, I concur with that. We've done a few of those episodes. They always turn out to be a lot of fun.
yeah, awesome.
Anyway, that brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can help to support our channel. Of course, for those of you who are new to the channel, all you got to do is click the stuff. There's a big red button. There's one with a bell. There's one that looks like this right here. Just click those things to stay up with all of our content and help our channel grow. Your clicks mean a lot to us. We appreciate the support very much.
Yeah, the algorithm likes the clicks.
Loves them. Loves them. The sound of it. Just loves the sound of it. It's like the algorithm has this thing for ASMR and only clicks though.
You know who also likes has something for ASMR?
My mom!
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
But what else can they do, Roots? They can, for those of who have been long-time subscribers, we mentioned it earlier, they can support us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, they will gain access to our weekly show notes as well as the Always Awesome Money Show, Roots. And who doesn't want to watch the Money Show for $3 a month? I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's funny is and I said it earlier with the Discord, but Patreons, help us out, man. Give us some advice in the Discord. Like if you feel like there's a game that you're like, man, Wes, we need a money show of you and Roots and From Other Sun or whatever, you know, let us know, because there's some games out there that we'd like to acquiesce to what you guys think as well.
So we've got Andy McAvoy in the chat recommending Bullet Roulette VR. Remember, Roots, I told you last week when we talked about Bullet Roulette that people are digging it. People say it's fun.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it definitely is different. And if I get a chance to put a gun to my head and pull a trigger and it's not real, that sounds good to me.
There you go. Our final reminder is, are you sad that the show's ending? Do you want the conversation to continue on? Well, we've got good news, friends, because all you have to do is scroll down to the description below, and there you will find an invitation to our Discord. Our Discord is where the community lives. It's where we thrive. It's where we talk VR. It's where we talk life. And you are all invited to join us there. So just scroll down, click the invitation, join us on there, and we'll see you at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I guess that's going to wrap us up here, friends. We'd like to thank all of you once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Take it easy.